Alright, it is now time for the world famous studio tour here at Universal Studios Hollywood. And of course, take it for the ride. Let's go.
How are you doing today? Woo! Good? Alright, well hi, my name is Jessica. I'm going to be your tour guide. We're going to be together for the next 45 minutes to an hour as we explore the real looking movie studio. As we do, we want to make sure we get as many people as possible, so make sure you move all the way down to the right-hand side of your row, filling in every available seat. Please make sure if you're sitting with any kids today, if their feet do not quite touch the floor of the tram, they are sitting more towards the center of the vehicle and away from the edges for their safety. Last but not least, please make sure that you are in possession of a pair of 3D glasses. You will need those 3D glasses for 2 experiences on our tour, so if you do not have them, this is your last chance to get them. So if you do not have 3D glasses, here's what you're going to do. You're going to raise your hand in the air, wave it around like you just don't have a pair of 3D glasses. And one of our studio tour ambassadors, you can bring them to you. I see some in the third car. Keep your hand in the air until you receive those glasses, otherwise they won't know where to go. So I think we need some in car 3, if anyone's available. So keep your hand in the air, car 3. Anybody else that needs them, keep your hand, keep going. We're going to get started very, very soon. Is it anyone's first time on the tour today? Okay, we got a few first timers. Anybody's like millionth time on the tour today? Alrighty, we love it, and you keep coming back. You keep coming back for more, and that's why we love you. Alright, last call for 3D glasses. Anybody else need 3D glasses? Okay, we got you for 3. Alright, anybody else? Okay, going once, going twice. I think we may be okay. Alright. Anyone here? What else was I going to ask? It'll come back to me. But, welcome. So, if you don't know what the studio tour is, we're not only going to be driving around doing some fun stuff, we're also going to be exploring the real working movie studio. We have blank sets, canvas sets are basically blank canvases. Ready to be decorated for any given production, and we will see them decorating some stuff. We do have some things, TV shows in production today, so keep your eyes peeled. You never know who you're going to see on a real movie studio lot. What's your name? Amazing. Thank you so much. So nice to meet all of you. I heard every single one. But my name is Jessica, and our driver today is Court. Everyone say hi, Court.
Hi, Court.
He's going to make sure we get everyone safe and sound and fast and furious. Everyone ready to be started?
Yeah.
I hope so. All right. Well, we have some safety rules before we officially begin. First and foremost, if you need any sort of guest assistance or you have a medical emergency, if you drop something of value off of the side of the tram, or you have any sound or video issues, please reach up and grab the red emergency cord that runs along the center of the ceiling of the tram, and I'll be back to assist you as soon as it's safe to do so. Otherwise, during the entire tour, please stay seated. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Remember that the studio is private property, so if at any point you drop your phone, you just can't wait to use the restroom. Pull that red cord to get my attention, but you remain seated on board the tram. Please no smoking of any kind during the tour today. Folks, you have to stay seated at all times. There we go. Thank you. Please no smoking of any kind during the tour today, and be prepared. Our tour features loud noises, sudden tram movements, fire effects, and many water effects. You want to have your phones and cameras out for great photo opportunities, but do keep an eye on them so they don't get wet. Finally, for your safety and the safety of those around you, please refrain from using selfie sticks while on board the tram. Now, you've been our driver, Court. You've been me, your tour guide, Jessica. There's one more person I want you to meet. Our co-host for today. Please welcome Mr. Jimmy Fallon.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Fallon. Welcome aboard the world-famous studio tour. I know what you're thinking. Why the tough? Well, we're celebrating our 60th anniversary. That's right, 60 years of glitz, glamour, and our own great white shark. As we celebrate our diamond anniversary today, we'll pay tribute to Universal's past and take you behind the scenes to discover why this studio tour is world famous. So whether this is your first visit or your 60th, get ready for fun, excitement, and an experience like no other.
Thank you, Jimmy. Now, maybe 60 years of our studio tour this year, but our studio itself has been around a lot longer than that. It all started for us on March 15th, 1915, when our founder, Carl Lemley, first invited guests onto the lot to watch silent movie being made. Now guests can walk around from set to set and marvel at the new technology involved in filmmaking. With the invention of sound and the need for quiet on the set, the original walking tour ended. It wasn't until the 1960s, under the leadership of company chairman Lou Wasserman and executives outdoorsman Jay Stein, the idea of reviving a tour of the studio returned when the Grey Line bus tours originating in Hollywood made a stop at our gates. So on July 15, 1964, the first of our red and white anti-striped glamour trim took 67 passengers on a 2-hour driving tour of the Universal lot, and the world-famous studio tour was born. We started out with 2 drivers, 2 guides, and 1 ticket seller working out of a trailer on Lancashire Boulevard. From there, the studio tour expanded with fantastic one-of-a-kind Hollywood elements like the Rock Slide and the Burning House, which were both in this area of the lot back in the 1970s and 80s. You might have seen our even further expansion there. We had construction on the hill. That's for our new Fast and Furious Hollywood Trips roller coaster coming out in 2026. To your left-hand side, that's Soundstage 12, our oldest and largest soundstage, to home to many of your favorite filming environments.
Say hello to my little friend.
On your screen, you're going to see what an empty soundstage looks like before a set is moved in for production. Now, these sound stages are varying sizes. They're about 98% soundproof, but that 2% they can still get you, just like with milk. So make sure you keep a lookout for the wig wags on the doors. Those are red flashing lights. They kind of look like siren lights with no noise. So if you see one of those flashing, that means we're recording on the inside of these stages, and I'm going to hop off the microphone for a sec so my amplified voice doesn't get in the way of whatever they're filming. The last thing you want is like a tense moment and me yapping away in the background, right? So these sound stages are where we're going to do 80 to 90% of filming for any given project, given that these are where we're going to have the most amount of control for any project that we're filming. To your left is Soundstage 7, where they film the shower scene for Psycho and the kitchen scene for Jurassic Park. All of these stages have been seen in Superstore with Academy Award nominee America Ferrera.
It's hot in here, but let's have some patience around here.
You know, the heat makes us all act. If your face stays where it is, it's going to get punched.
Now this looks very realistically like a real Walmart or Kmart or a real Cloud9 Superstore, but it's a fictional one built inside of these sound stages with parameters and dimensions, movable shelves, anything they can use to make filming easier. They also use Soundstage 14, and most recently, all of these stages have been used in season 3 of Bel Air, starring Jabari Banks and Ollie Charlton.
Leaving the theme park behind and entering the front lot where real Hollywood magic is made. How? Well, inside the sound stages that surrounds us, we can create any kind of environment for scripted movies.
For the past 60 years, studio tour visitors have driven right by these buildings, and inside these walls, the sets from your favorite TV shows and movies have transported audiences anywhere the imagination can take you, even to a palatial mansion in Bel Air.
When we film Bel Air, we love coming out of the sound stages and seeing the trams filled with excited guests as they drive by.
So, keep an eye out.
You never know who
Or what?
you'll see on the studio tour.
To your right, that facade is not for filming. That's actually for Halloween Horror Nights. That's one of our houses. It's going to be open out here on the back lot. To your right hand side, we have some more sound stages. Now, Bel Air, by the way, is filming or streaming on Peacock. Season 3 just premiered last week. But anybody can come back here and film. We don't only have sound stages and backlot sets. We have editing bays, metal shop, wood shop, scene area or for set pieces. We have prop shop, costume shop. Any and all of these resources can be rented out by anybody who needs them. It's a very collaborative business here in Hollywood till you get to the box office. Now to your right hand side, we have Soundstage 19, which is a little special because our Academy Award winner Oppenheimer filmed their Oval Office scenes right inside of that stage. But everyone look to your left. You're going to see our first celebrity sighting. It said the teddy bear. Hi, Ted. Ted marks the beginning of our production bungalows. These bungalows are where, in the heyday of Hollywood, actors like Doris Day, Lucille Ball, Rock Hudson, Jimmy Stewart, who we contracted to work for one studio at a time. And when they worked for Universal, we tried to give them sort of a home away from home. So these were built as deluxe kind of dressing rooms, green rooms for them to hang out in, get ready in, before they were called to set. Nowadays, though, these have been transformed into offices for many different production companies. Illumination Entertainment works out here. They brought you animated classics like Sing, Despicable Me, the Super Mario Brothers movie. We've got the De Laurentiis Company out here, Working Title Productions, Amy Pascal's Pascal Pictures. One of my favorites, though, is working on launching a huge film project. Mark Platt Productions, who's previously brought you Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Legally Blonde, La La Land, is bringing Wicked to the big screen. Look to your left-hand side, and when you see Bungalow 5162, you're going to see a green balloon with Belinda whispering to alphabets, defying gravity as we speak, as we eagerly await our return to the Emerald City when Wicked hits theaters later this year, Thanksgiving Day weekend. But it's only the first of 2 parts, so keep your eye out for that second part in the next coming years. If you look to your left-hand side, we have some more sound stages. These ones were originally used for the 2016 NBC Live, Hairspray Live production on NBC. Sorry, all my words are jumbled today, guys. But right now they're being used in 2 different sitcoms. To your left, soundstage 25 is used for Lopez vs. Lopez, a family sitcom starring George Lopez and his real-life daughter, Mayan Lopez. It's airing on NBC. New season comes out on October 18th. And on your left, another one that's coming to NBC in November, a brand new workplace sitcom. So it's all centered around co-workers at St. Denis Medical. That's what the show's called. It stars David Allen Greer, Wendy McLennan-Covey, and Allison Tillman. It's going to premiere later this year in November. Now, they built their interior sets for their hospital inside of the Soundstage 26 that are passing right now to your left. But the exterior St. Denis Medical is going to be part of our backlot.
We're about to cross the imaginary boundary onto the back lot, where we have exterior sets for many outdoor scenes. Over the last 60 years, studio tour guests have seen these locations turned into big cities, quiet suburbs, even that guy's hometown. Yeah, that guy. For countless movies and TV shows. This is Universal's Metro Sets.
If you look to your right-hand side, you can see the facade that's standing in for St. Denis Medical. Now, if you go into St. Denis Regional Medical Center right here, you're not going to find a real building. These are all facades. The fronts and sides of buildings decorated to look like an exterior when really the interiors are built inside of a soundstage. We have many different districts here in our metropolitan sets, including a small town square.
Welcome to the Courthouse Square. These sets were used to create Hill Valley and the Back to the Future films.
And they represented multiple time periods, 1985, 1955, and the far, far distant future of 2015. To this day, this is one of the most popular sets on Universal Studio Tour.
We had a lot of fun making those films here on the lot. I wonder what it'd be like to go back to those days. If only we had a time machine.
Hey, everybody. Do you think we can get this tram up to 88 miles per hour? See you in the future.
On your left-hand side, you can see what was originally the clock tower from Back to the Future. Looks a little different these days, right? Well, they've decorated it for an upcoming production. That brick facade is just covering up those columns. Don't worry. They're still there. But Back to the Future is one of those productions that got so famous, so iconic, it became almost impossible to film in this location without disguising the clock tower. Otherwise, people would recognize it in different productions. You've seen this in things like Rutherford Falls, Never Have I Ever, Ted Season 1, and Ghost Whisperer. Before Back to the Future, this was used in things like the Twilight Zone's very first episode. This is Kingston Falls in the Gremlins. And you've seen this as the clock tower was a courthouse in To Kill a Mockingbird in 1962. Truly an incredible history, and just a little small corner of our metropolitan sets. Now, these metro sets have many different districts. This is New York Street, the longest running street on our backlot. And these metro sets take up about 4 acres of our 400-acre lot. Now, they can be decorated to be any city in the world. We call this New York Street, but it hasn't only been New York. We can decorate this to be any city in the world, any time period in history, any season of the year, even any time of day. All depends on our set decoration. Set decoration is basically like a costume for your set. You dress up an actor, you dress up the set to match the actor's costume, right? Now, these sets you've seen as Chicago in the Blues Brothers, San Francisco in Dirty Harry, Los Angeles in Transformers. These were 1940s Brooklyn for Captain America, the First Avenger. He gets all hunkified by the super soldiers here. He's running down the street barefoot. This is a 1940s Brooklyn. This is an 1800s London for Bram Stoker's Dracula. Replace our electric street lamps with gas lamps. Put horse-drawn carriages on the street instead of picture cars. There are easy ways you can decorate these sets and change them over to make them work for your production. You've also seen this. American Ninja Warrior will build their obstacle course up and down these streets. In their first couple seasons, they would say live from downtown Los Angeles. Now think about it. You cannot rent out a street on downtown Los Angeles, film in the middle of night with an obstacle course, right? That's just not going to work, right? You do it out here on the backlot where it's private property, much easier to control the stunts. You have holding areas for anybody who's not competing at the moment, and it's secluded. So you can't have people out there texting pictures of the obstacle course to their friends who are competing, right? They don't get any sneak previews. They don't know the obstacle course until they come out there. They wouldn't even let us go near it when the obstacle course is built, right? They don't know who we know. So you got to be really careful, and things like a backlot make that easy for you to do. Now, is anyone here a fan of superhero movies?
Yeah.
There's this little superhero, I don't know, you might have heard of him. His name is Spider-Man. Anyone here a Spider-Man fan? Mm-hmm. Okay, I feel like we all have our favorite Spider-Man, right? Who would say Tobey Maguire? That's their guy. That's their Spider-Man. Raise your hand high if it's Tobey Maguire. Okay, great. You see Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire, look to your left-hand side. It's a little behind you, cars 1 and 2, I apologize. That Lyric Theater, that's where MJ Watson, played by Kirsten Dunst, had her debut Broadway performance in The Importance of Being Earnest, and Peter Parker didn't make it to the show. He was late and they didn't let him in. And she said, Peter, all you are to me is an empty seat. Do you remember this? Mm-hmm. Heartbreaking to this day. That happened right there. I mean, not really on the inside, because like I said, they're the facades, false fronts, but that was enough. That's where he was outside of the theater looking up at the marquee, waiting for her to come out of the stage door. That'll happen right there. Now, later on in the movie, they're talking at a cafe, right? And they're trying to reconcile, and they're about to kiss. They're about to kiss. And Doc Ock ruins it, throws a car through the middle of the window. That happened on a facade built right across the street. They built a little cafe. They built it with wood that was really easy to break. They didn't make a whole lot of decoration for it. And they used candy glass, which is literally tightly spun sugar that breaks really easily without cutting anybody when it breaks. It also serves as a nice snack for a job well done when you're done with that. They built that 6 times because they had to get 6 angles of that car going through the window. So they had to do the stunt 6 different times. That's another reason to use our backlot, right? Stunts are a lot easier out here than out in the real world where you might damage someone's real private property. Okay, maybe you're not a fan of Tobey Maguire. Anyone here a fan of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man? Okay, correct, Car 3, correct opinion. Not that there are correct opinions, but if there were, it would be that one. Andrew Garfield's The Amazing Spider-Man series, the first movie filmed in some back alleyways out here. Let's say, this is not necessarily what happened with them, but let's say you're out on set and you forget to get a certain angle. Right? You forget an angle of your shot, or the audio gets messed up, or something in your shot, you lose some footage, something happens, and you suddenly don't have a scene, but you're done being on location. You're not going to get your cast and crew all back together, fly across the world to your location yet again to film a couple of scenes, right? No, you'll come out here to our backlot, go to one of our back alleyways. Alleyways pretty much always look the same. Put a couple of things to make it Spider-Man's universe. Bada bing, bada boom, you're all of a sudden in New York without actually being in New York, right? It's a lot easier to do that out here than it is to go cross country all over again. Okay, anyone here is a fan of Tom Holland's Spider-Man? All right. Okay, lots of encouragement for Tom Holland. Well, he has not filmed here yet, but we will have a petition ready at the end of the tour. If you want to sign it, we want to get all 3 Peter Parkers, and all we need is 1 scene. And then we have all 3 Spider-Men, except for, Miles Morales animated, but Amy Pascal's Pascal Pictures helped produce that. So we got Miles Morales. We just need 1 more Peter Parker. Now look around you. You might see some extra decoration from some different productions that have been here recently. I see some coffee roasters, a bookstore over here.